start your bidding engines and prepare yourself to be entertained, as we have on the line now Mr. Mikey Neumann. Mikey!
Hello.
How's it going?
Hi, Mikey.
Wow, that's a big crowd. Hello, everybody.
Hey!
No socks.
Oh, you cleaned up today?
Yeah, well, you know, that's
I mean, it always looks like that.
right?
Yeah.
I wore the Doctor Who jacket for everybody.
Nice.
It's been referenced in the chat already.
Presentable.
Let's get the intros out of the way quickly for those in the chat who may not know who you are, even though you already called in the other day and you called in last year as well, and your general is awesome. Who is you and where would people know you from?
My name is Mikey Neumann. I'm the Chief Creative Champion at Gearbox Software. We make, Borderlands, Brothers in Arms, worked on Halo PC back in the day. I am also an author. I've written some books, written some comic books. I do a lot of stuff with Chris Straub, who called in. A lot of you probably know him and runs Chainsaw Suit. We do the Chainsaw Suit podcast, which is a lot of fun. I get to be a total weirdo every week with my best friend, so that's cool. It's cool stuff.
Awesome.
Let's try it again. That was low energy. Let's do it again. I'm at my energy, but okay.
We just loaned you some.
And you have some pretty super cool stuff that we're gonna live auction off in a little bit.
Yeah, I have two lots. It's kind of become a weird tradition where I auction off. There's like the main auction, and then I just add stuff to the pile. Seems to be how we do this.
We like it.
So I have my auction lots, and then I have some off to the side, some pig sweeteners, as you call them.
Nice.
To push that over the top. I don't think we're gonna break last year though. First year we did 3,000. Second year we did 15,000. I don't think we're gonna break last year.
No.
So we'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
I have some stuff that you can't get anywhere else. It's one of a kind. So we'll see.
Awesome. Yeah. Oh, we have following up from the other day when you called in. You were getting ready for the Gearbox employee chili cook-off.
Yes.
And now I know the answer because I read it on your Twitters, but you said on stream here that you always place top 5 but never winning in the judged portion, but you always win the blind employee's choice portion.
Which matters more to, I'm a People's Choice man, not a Grammy man, No, yeah, I got second in the judging this year, and I got first in the People's Choice.
As predicted.
Wow, if that's the bar for applause, we're in for a good night.
I need to try this chili someday.
When are you going to come to Desert West and make us chili?
Tell us about the chili. Can you sweeten the pig with some chili?
Do not put chili in the Borderlands chest, please.
If it's sealed, it's fine.
Crap. Hang on. Don't even. Okay, we're good. Also, the right side of my body is now covered in delicious, delicious chili.
The chat is calling for you to spice the pig.
Already? We haven't even started yet.
So, we have some questions on our blog that people have been posting in there, and I will read you some of them now.
Let's do.
The first one is actually a statement and then an unrelated question.
Okay.
This is someone saying, first off, I wanted to say that Diagnosis MIA is super inspiring to read. Really well written, heart-wrenching, and yet still humor infused. It's just something that they wanted to say.
I'm glad we're starting off with the easy, non-emotional topics. Thanks, Grant. It always happens.
They just wanted to say how much they like it. The question.
No, that's fake anger. It's endearing. It's funny because every time I call in, you're like, so, about those times you were in the hospital. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Chili makes me cry, not sadness.
The question is, how did the Chainsaw Suit podcast start? How did it come into being?
Well, I'm watching Molly and Ben do a really beautiful Vishnu-like dance in the background there.
Just for you.
That's an interesting thing. I, oddly enough, sort of met Chris originally at Will Wheaton's 40th birthday party, but we didn't really talk. I have a hangy booger. Super questionable. Anyway, and we didn't really have a chance to talk. And through our mutual contact, Liz Smith, who all of you know because she is running your shindig, she reached out to me to do the Chris and Scott show for PAX 2 years ago, I guess, or 2 PAXs ago. And I was in LA for some recording, and I still had not really talked to Chris, even though I was doing a show. So he called me and he's like, "Hey, do you want to hang out tonight? Maybe we'll grab a drink and we'll see if we hate each other." And he picked me up, and we hung out for, I would say, like 8 hours, because we just clicked, you know. And he called me back the next day. He's like, "You want to hang out again?" And we just ended up hanging out every day in LA. And then our paths crossed a bunch of times. We're like, we should do something together. We're planning a bunch of other things, but the first step was to do a podcast, because Chris really likes doing podcasts, but he also likes stopping them. I don't know if you noticed that, like, because he had like 4 different, you know. He calls it his albatross. But
I was gonna be on his old one, and then he just stopped doing it.
Which old one? There's like 4.
I don't know, the one about comedy, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I guess I kind of keep him honest too, because I edit the show every week, you know. I make sure we stay on the schedule, and I get to do a podcast where we make fake commercials and talk about all kinds of stuff. Sometimes serious, actually, on the podcast. Like, we had one episode that was just very serious conversations with no humor about things that happen in our lives. But for the most part, yeah, it's a silly podcast. It has actually like plot lines that go on of very made up things. Our current producer, quote unquote, is Kim Cattrall. That's actually the whole joke. Anyway. You should check it out. chancestro.com/podcast. We do fake commercials, we do skits, we do all kinds of stuff. So it's fun.
Did you have to audition for the voice of Scooter?
No, I did not.
All right. That was an easy one.
I wrote Borderlands. We were doing stuff. Because it wasn't just me. It was I grabbed Scooter. I told Randy I could do that. I gave Randy Crazy Earl and Eddings. Eddings was already pretty much Claptrap. Like, at this point, I don't think anybody else can imagine David does anything else. So we all kind of took the parts, and we're all really good at them. Before we move on, though, on a serious note, and it's kind of screwed with my head all day, Mr. Eddings, Dave, he's actually in the hospital right now, and it's pretty serious. So if you guys could send some good vibes to Mr. David Eddings and thoughts and prayers, that would be much appreciated. So
absolutely. Yeah, as someone mentioned that when you were on before, but it was not sort of, it was unconfirmed. So I hope he does well.
He's in good spirits. You know, he's on Twitter. He's jumping on the Gearbox forums to talk to people. But
that's good.
You know, it's scary. I mean, obviously, I know kind of firsthand that can be pretty scary. So
yeah.
I actually saw him a couple days before he got sick at Youmacon. We were there with him, actually.
Oh yeah.
And that was right before he got sick, like immediately right before. So
Jeez.
we're hoping he's feeling better. We missed him at Youmacon, so.
Well, hopefully he'll be back on the cons soon. Here's a positive question. Hey Mikey, why you so sexy?
Why you so sexy? I don't know. Wait, sorry. Ask that again.
Hey Mikey, why you so sexy?
How your truth glass? Once you get to this part, it's not sexy anymore. My glasses taste like hair.
Hey Mikey, what? Oh God, that does taste gross.
No.
Yeah, don't do it. It's we both just got the same hair glasses
Like this.
disease.
Seems like-
Very dangerous.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Hold on.
Okay,
Maybe
Kathleen's
it's a
got it.
ladies only.
No, I can
Yeah.
give you my sexy face here.
Oh, let's do it.
That
It's a
is
shame you're spoken for.
100% look of seduction.
My goal for this, I think, is just to have wine mouth as quickly as possible.
Do you write every day, every week, every month? How write? That's not a very well written question. This person clearly needs your help.
There's a lot of ways to write.
Let me summarize that. What's your writing process?
Right. I was actually talking to Randy Pitchford the other day at work, and he was saying, because I'm working on this new thing with him actually that I think is really cool, really different. And he was saying like, wow, where did this come from? Like he seemed to have gotten a lot better fairly quickly. And we were talking about kind of that process, and I realized in the last 2 years on multiple projects, a couple different book series, short stories, blog posts, work stuff, I've probably written about 400,000 words in the last 2 years, which is a lot. That's like 2 Game of Thrones books. So take that, George R. R. Martin.
George R. R. Martin.
No, I like obviously finding something that you're passionate about, that you care about. I think that's where good stories come from. Making them accessible to people so that they want to read them, I think, is the part that takes practice. So you need to really kind of hone both.
I don't know if you're looking at the chat, but there's already a GIF of
You being sexy.
Yeah. Not to cut you off, but there's
Very
already.
That was quick.
Yep, they're good. They're very good.
I was trying to point out. I thought my hair was really on point tonight. What do you guys?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, definitely. I'm
Good.
sure it's just like that. You didn't have to do anything to it. You just woke up and it was that awesome.
Oh no! So the process to get my hair to do, because my hair is really curly because I got a bunch of cowlicks. I use it's a high-end product. It's called Head and Shoulders, and you just work that in, and you get your hair really wet, and then you put on a hat for a few hours, and you take the hat off, and that's my process.
Nice.
That's my process.
Should have had you hair for a girly time yesterday, talking about hair.
That's me.
This is a message from someone saying, I wanted to say that I love the D&D campaign, Assault on Dragon Keep, in Borderlands. That was the reason I bought the game and subsequently fell in love with the main game. As a comment.
Cool. That's awesome. Send a great majority of your love to Mr. Anthony Birch. He wrote most of Borderlands 2. He wrote all the DLCs. I thought Assault on Dragon Keep was the best thing he's done. It's fantastic, and it actually has a lot of heart. So send your love to Anthony. That was him.
Speaking of Anthony, there's a question here. Do you have any future plans for any web series?
Yeah, I do. That's always something that's on the back burner. It's a passion of mine. Anthony Saves the World seems like a long time ago now. Like 4 years, 3 years, I don't know. Well, screw it. I think me and Chris are going to do something, and I think it's going to be awesome.
Well, I will watch the hell out of that.
Yeah.
Let's see if there are any questions from the chat. Did we ask about ukuleles? Well, we did last time, but just as an update, you have how many ukuleles?
0. Actually, I have a question about the comments. Mr. Adam Fletcher from Gearbox said he left a question there.
Oh,
I'm curious what Adam asked. 'Cause I'm sure it was blatant trolling.
Let's see. Did he use his real name as the question?
Oh, Pez Radar, maybe?
Oh, Adam Fletcher?
Yeah.
Oh, that was Why You So Sexy.
Oh, well, that's super nice. Thanks, Adam.
Yeah, I said, hey, Mikey, why are you so sexy? That was the question.
That's a great question, Adam. Thank you. I'll stop by your office tomorrow.
Just do that GIF at him. Just like
This is kind of uncomfortable. Like the last couple years, I didn't live in constant fear that anything I do will instantly become a GIF. So do they have to have their finger on the trigger to like record that? So if I was to be like,
No.
they just have that, or
Oh, man.
It's already.
Start counting.
That one looks like it'll loop really well too.
yeah. Well, no, that's part of the process.
Yeah. The other night, I wasn't here, but the other night we had people in the room recreating popular GIFs, like other people's GIFs.
No.
I think my favorite was Andy wearing the horse head, being the dog that shakes hands. That was a really It's already been GIFed.
Are we as the royal internet? Are we over the horse head yet, or is that still
It's not like as prevalent.
Can we take a democratic vote in the room? Are we over the horse head? Raise your hand if you're over the horse head.
Personally, or do we think?
I'm not over it.
Oh, that's almost a majority.
Yeah.
The problem is it still looks really funny.
It does.
Yeah.
It's also really smelly now. Where?
Yeah, it's sort of stanky on the inside.
Yeah, the problem with horse heads is they were very like I was derping around at like a wedding with horse heads like this time last year.
Yeah.
And I can't believe they're still around actually.
I want to see that okay, sure, we can do a straw poll. We'll do a straw poll for our horse heads over.
The good memes get about 2 years.
I want to see that GIF of Mikey just looping, like without him taking the mask off, just like back and forth. I think that'd be really good. Oh, come on, internet.
The internet.
Actually, Mikey, I just thought of something. This hadn't occurred to me before, but I don't know about you. I never seem to find the time to write a proper Christmas letter to my relatives, and I feel bad. Maybe you could use this too. Maybe this year I should just send them basically a whole bunch of gifts. It's like, here's how I've been this year. How are you? You could maybe use it for that. Your sexy one would be great.
Oh, I thought you said gifts, and I was like, well, isn't that what everybody does? I didn't realize you said gifts.
Oh yeah.
That's entirely different. Here, Grandma, here's a Maggiano's gift card and a link to a Reddit thread.
What could go wrong?
She's on Argon Wild like immediately. Not that I know what that is.
No.
I've posted the poll in the chat. Are you personally over the horse head as a meme? Nope, still funny, or yes, it's dumb. And we'll let that voting run.
Yeah, just let it simmer.
Yeah. Mikey Neumann, GIF you some.
God, the pie chart looks like...
Whoa. That's not quite what I meant, can't wear hats. That's a little bit more...
I can't see the chat right now.
Yeah.
It's scary.
No, I am curious what's happening.
It's freaky.
There's like 40 people in the room and they're all reacting, and that feels very... I feel like there's a barrier between us.
There we go.
It looks like a mask hitting his face.
The
There we
chat
go.
has come
Simon's got
between
it.
us.
Oh, yeah?
It reminds me of
So, sorry, I'll check the blog again for more questions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What of your? I'm going to limit this to current creative endeavors because it's always when it's like, what's your favorite minute? What of your current creative endeavors are you the most proud of?
So I've been posting this, the first book in my other series, because my first series, The Returners, which it sounds like a lot of the people that check out Desert Bus have checked out, which is cool.
As they should.
Because it's great. I am writing this other series called The Ending, which is about the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse coming down to end the earth, because I always thought that was really interesting from like a high-level perspective, that you have, like, you turn on a news channel of your choice, not necessarily Fox News. But these people have been like, the apocalypse is upon us. Thank God we're all about to, And I always thought that was really interesting, that you have these people praising an entity that is destroying them. And I use this analogy, though it is crude, that we make laws against such a thing for the following reason. The theme of the book is, just because you create something doesn't give you the right to destroy it. The crude example is, we get very upset when fathers or mothers drown their kids in a bathtub. which is a real thing that happens, and it's obviously very dark. But that's the easiest thing for me to equate that to. So I wrote a book about it. And it's not quite this serious. So I sound very serious right now, but it's a really interesting book. It's not all online yet, but it's well into the climax. So if you want to check it out, just go over to blog.bozpublishing.com. You can check out the ending there. And the other thing I'm doing right now is it's a short story also posted in parts called Neon Pulpit. It's super new. There's 2 parts up, and people are really reacting to it because I think it's just so far outside of either my wheelhouse or the wheelhouse people expect from me. It's about this guy Rooster. You never really know his real name, and his upbringing, and it deals with some really dark issues. And I think that might be because it deals with substance abuse, with child abuse, and all these things. And I just wanted to find a new avenue to tell a story from. And it's going really well. So you can also check that out. You can check out any of my stuff for free. Just go over to bosspublishing.com. You can click anything and read it. Or you can go to Amazon and you can buy my books. You can leave feedback. You can call me mean names, which people do.
Well, that's no fun.
But then you respond very well to them and foster conversation. I thought that was really impressive.
Oh, the other night?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was interesting. So I have this other short story called Vina Cava, which is part of your heart. It's a sci-fi short. It's hard sci-fi. It's in 3 parts. And the guy really didn't like it, which is fine. He wrote 8 actually fairly astute paragraphs. They were on point for where he was coming from, what his opinion was. But in the last paragraph, it kind of took a turn because it was like, maybe this is so crappy because he had a stroke. And it was like, why did you write that? It was like, now you've invalidated everything you've said before this by kind of being a horse's ass right at the end there. And I sort of made a bad decision because my first instinct was like, I will take a photo of this and I will shame you on the internet. And I mean, it wasn't quite that aggressive, but I ended up, because you can reply to reviews on Amazon to start a conversation. So I just started a conversation where I was like, hey, thanks for the feedback. I actually see where you're coming from. I thought this was really crappy. I don't think you had to say that. And he's like, no, I'm sorry. Do you want me to change it? Do you want me to delete it? So it worked out. The thing is, like, yeah, if you have a disagreement on the internet, I've found that 90% of the time, start pragmatically. Open the conversation, and generally it's pretty hard to troll somebody if they're like actively trying to understand you.
It's weird.
And after reading the internet today,
that's something that that's something that we've encountered too, and it's the strangest thing, and to the point that people don't believe us when we tell them that this is a thing, that people will say something really insulting.
Yeah.
And then you're like, why did you say that? And then they go, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't think you were reading this. Oh, God. I love your stuff. And it's like, what? What? Why were you such a dick then?
We all come from different social backgrounds. We all have different upbringings that create a different person. I mean, we're nothing if not, the sum of our experience. Bullies don't just become bullies, that's generally born out of something. People that don't necessarily have the greatest social graces, I mean, that generally comes from something. So, just trying to understand that people don't think the same way as you, because it's not really about at the end of the day, it's not about the opinion that someone has, more so it's about why they have that opinion and what would create that. So if you attack problems like that, in discussions like that, generally people come back across the line. I've been doing this, like I've been attacking internet conversations like that for a couple years, and I've had 1 out of hundreds where the guy just wouldn't stop. And it's like, oh, okay, you're trying to get a rise me, you're trying to get attention, you're shut off. But the vast majority, they just want to have a conversation, and they might not know how to do it. So. I love Licorice. Sorry, I lighten the mood there.
Here's a completely unrelated question.
Okay.
How would you make Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. better?
I think that person watches or listens to the podcast.
Yeah.
I didn't trash it because I don't outwardly dislike the show. I'm disappointed in the show. Because it's not quite there, and I think the Joss Whedon bar is so high that, I mean, dude made Firefly. Like how the only show in my opinion that ever batted 1,000 because it was so short that every episode was amazing and it went out on top. Whereas Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't really a Joss Whedon show. It's a Jed Whedon and Marissa Tancherone show, his brother and his brother's wife, who are great writers in and of themselves. But I think the Joss Whedon we know and love had to go through watching the Buffy movie change, not getting credit for writing Speed, doing some punch-ups on Toy Story, like that, like Alien Resurrection, you know. The places he started, and then the first season of Buffy, I think, created the person that learned those lessons, and I think Jed isn't there yet as a writer and a showrunner. Having said that, I would change the show so that it is what I think people would enjoy out of that, because it's a Marvel show and it kind of winks at the stuff in the Avengers, but it doesn't seem to be having fun. It's like watching a show where you're like, I don't think these people are having fun making this. Watch Firefly. You can tell that those people like left the set and went to a bar and hung out. Watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it doesn't feel like there's a connection between the characters. The characters themselves are not very interesting. The backstories are shoehorned in, and they don't give us those moments that I think matter. We fell in love with Agent Coulson as a character because he was this guy that showed up and he was quirky and weird and said strange things that made us love him. And you're like, oh yeah, if you were an agent for a massive government organization that tries to cattle drive superheroes, you kind of got to be a weird guy. So that's my rant on S.H.I.E.L.D. I desperately want it to be amazing, but it's not yet.
I hear it's gotten better. Obviously we've been planning some kind of event, so I haven't been watching it. But
the greatest illustration of that I think would be watch Sleepy Hollow, which has no business being a fun and enjoyable show, which they understood going into it. They were like, oh yeah, Ichabod Crane, he traveled through time, now he's in the present. Headless Horseman, he's there too. They're in Sleepy Hollow. It's a modern, like, that is such a silly idea that should never have left the whiteboard.
I can't believe.
And they acknowledge that.
Walken was in it, right? Yeah.
Sorry?
Christopher Walken was in it.
Not the
No,
movie.
there's a new show.
There's a new TV show of it.
And yeah, it shouldn't. I can't believe it got. Yeah.
Like, honestly, Hollow is a better show than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Try that, like, on. That is weird. I never would have believed that to be true.
The chat is saying, yeah, Sleepy Hollow, amazeballs, way better than it, and like really good. So the chat agrees.
Well, I guess because you're going into it with like, this is going to be crap.
And then
it's actually okay.
Your bar is lower.
Yeah.
You're like, I did not bleed from my eyes. I would watch this again.
It's just goofy horror fun. It's exactly what it needs to be.
Some people in the chat are asking why we don't put the Skype on the green screen, and I think that would actually just look terrifying. Just have giant Mikey head watching over all of us.
But then I would be watching myself on a delay, at which point my head would...
Face jammer.
No.
Yeah, speech jammer.
Face jammer. Yes.
Well, you know what I think we ought to do, Mikey?
And then can we all
I imagine it's auction stuff.
Oh, I think we should.
The Wizard of Oz.
Did you guys already ask for superhero yesterday?
I think no. We saved the superhero for tonight.
Okay.
We will do it.
Cool.
I think that we should raise us some money. I'm going to turn this on. So can you please?
Scoot back.
Yeah, can we go back to Mikey Cam because we want to see what do you have in your first lot this evening? The lot that everyone knows about. Wait, we can't hear Mikey.
We've lost Mikey sound.
We've lost Mikey sound. Mikey! We can't hear you, Mikey.
I think Skype has done a thing. 1 second.
Stand by. Looks like Mikey can hear us.
So he's wogging, Dutch. He's becoming wogging slowly.
Okay. We're gonna disconnect Mikey's call and then call him back.
We're gonna call you right back, Mikey. That's a horrible noise.